Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from Major League Baseball, NHL, and UFC, and professional golf, BetOnline remains the number one source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline's casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
You're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show, and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Hey everybody, welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa. Jon, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. What you been up to?
Well, I have been on an adventure.
What kind of adventure?
Well, as you know, we did our first professional photo shoot for this podcast to get some publicity photos.
Yes, we did.
And I bought about $2,500 worth of clothing for it.
Which, if people look at the photos, we have
It's the top of my head.
It's the top of your head.
Like the main picture we ended up using, you don't even see my body.
And then there's one photo of you in like a dress shirt and a blazer.
Right, which is now like going to be my LinkedIn photo. I bought like 5 sport coats, I think 12 turtlenecks, a dozen t-shirts. I bought so many clothes, and I didn't even buy them all from the same place. I got them from Amazon. I got them from J. Crew Outlet. I got them from Nordstrom Rack. I got them from all over the place. But I am proud of myself because I've spent the last 2 weeks slowly getting them all returned, and that felt very satisfying.
That's a victory because a return will haunt you like nothing else. You could like wake in the night like thinking of your returns.
Well, yeah, because I'm really good about not returning things, and I sometimes...
So don't say good about not returning things. Say bad about returning. You're
I'm
bad.
really good at failing. But I got to say, there's something very satisfying about going to Nordstrom Rack and leaving with $500 back in your account. Though I will say, I don't go to Nordstrom Rack a lot. And for this one endeavor, I went to 3 different Nordstrom Racks. It felt like I was in The Walking Dead. Like, there's so many people there. The line was, this is like a weekday at like noon. There's 75 people in line. People are like holding each other's places to go to the bathroom. Like, I don't know if this is normal, but it was a dreadful experience.
The vibe there is definitely, I would say, apocalyptic. Can you recognize something different about my face? Do I look particularly young? Maybe my forehead looks particularly smooth.
Wait, really?
I did get Botox.
You got Botox?
For the 3rd time. You haven't noticed the other 2 times.
Wait, you were surprising me on the pod with Botox news? Is that why you fell ill last night? Is that why you had a temperature?
That was unrelated to the temperature. I have had Botox 3 times.
Wait, when did you get it?
I got it last week.
Oh,
But okay, this is what's interesting. The first 2 times I got it from a dermatologist on Larchmont, and this is kind of like that's kind of like the fanciest place to get Botox. But you know, if you're getting a poison and injected in your face, my thinking was maybe you don't want to skimp. Mm-hmm. And then the prices kept going up, and it just felt like maybe I'm priced out of having a smooth forehead. So our mutual friend, our hottest friend, we'll say her name at the same time. We'll bleep that. She referred me to a place she goes to, which I'm now realizing, having your hottest friend like refer you to like a place she goes to like stay hot. I'm like, anywhere she goes, she's going to like come out hot.
Right.
What difference does it make? So this place was running a great sale. I'll say $11 a unit, which if you know the price of Botox, that is about 50% off of what I was paying at the dermatologist.
Okay, so you want to go to an expensive place, but you want them to have a coupon.
But I wanted them to have a coupon. Okay. So I ended up going to a cheap place because I was thinking, like, I can't afford the dermatologist anymore. Our friend goes. This is a personal recommendation, kind of like a little treat myself thing. So I walk in, and already the vibe is like a little, I'm like, okay, maybe not what I was expecting. The bathroom is a little shabby. So I say, okay, fine. I look past it. I'm waiting in the patient's chair, which is like kind of like a dentist chair. I'm waiting for the doctor. And at my dermatologist, you walk in and there's like certifications all over the wall that's like class of whatever, degree in dermatology, injector, Botox trained, whatever. Like all these certifications that just tell you you're in good hands. Though there's 1 degree on the wall of this little office. A degree for gynecology issued in 1986. I start to panic. I start to sweat. I'm waiting for the doctor. So now I'm feverishly on the website for the company. I'm like, tell me I have no reason to worry. So I'm like about us. Okay, our staff. I click on our staff. Is this one doctor's name?
Wait, you went to the company website where they're only going to put
I
their
went to
best
the
foot
company
forward? Why
website.
wouldn't you go to Yelp?
Because I wanted reassurance. I'm already there. If I go
That's
to
like
Yelp,
me going to the trailer to find out if a movie's good.
if I go to Yelp and I see 1 star, I'm in trouble because I can't leave. So I'm there to be reassured. So I go to the bio for this man who is about to inject my face. 3 paragraphs. None of them are about skin or faces or anything. 3 paragraphs. Literally a line was, he has delivered 10,000 babies.
That's
and I'm already
insane.
there. I'm waiting for him to come in. And so I can't leave. I'm
Though
on the hook.
can I interrupt for a second? I don't know much about Botox. It doesn't seem like, and I'll probably get some backlash from the professionals. It doesn't seem that hard.
Are you saying my face is a vagina? Because
Of course not. I'm saying, well, I mean, listen, if you want to know my honest opinion, I don't think you need Botox.
Oh,
I think
well, thank you.
you're perfection.
Canonically, I look 38, according to Jon.
Well, I mean, yeah, based on looks, but all right. But how did it? I mean, are you happy?
I think it worked fine, and it was honestly a steal. I'm back and forth on whether I go back.
Well,
I don't know.
if you didn't have any negative repercussions from it and it was cheap, why wouldn't you go back?
Next time I need a pap smear, I'll be back.
Did you?
Because my thinking is just don't put any degree on the wall.
I think that you have to look at it in reverse. I mean, I'm assuming that you would be comfortable if you had your children delivered by someone.
By a dermatologist?
By a dermatologist, yeah. If you're willing to do that, then I think you made the right choice.
I don't think I'm willing to do that.
Well, okay, then maybe you have to think about what happened last week. Well, you look great.
Thank you.
You definitely
Not
look...
a day over 38.
I was going to say, yeah, 37 maybe now.
I shaved 1 year off. I got my money's worth.
Photograph yourself. What am I always telling you? Photograph yourself now because you're going to want to look back on it. You're at your prime.
Thank you.
You're gorgeous. I'm always shocked by your beauty.
Thank
Photograph
you so much.
yourself.
Thank you. I can't hear it enough, so I appreciate it.
So we're getting into our 3rd episode, and
This is huge.
We've covered The Gap, we've covered IKEA, and last week you surprised me with an episode on basically condiments. So why did you pick Heinz?
Great question. Well, Heinz is what we would call a legacy brand.
Definitely.
I, as you know, really respect a brand whose branding and logo has stayed consistent
Me too.
for quite some time.
Iconic.
It's iconic. And I was excited to learn the history of Heinz because I really know nothing. I have a lot of brand loyalty to Heinz, as I know you do. And I didn't know anything about it. So would you like to hear a little bit about the sauce we call Heinz?
I don't think I do.
Oh, well, we'll just...
All right. Well,
Turn
thanks,
off
guys.
the mic,
Of course.
then.
Tell me everything you've learned about Heinz. I can't wait.
Okay, so the year is 1869. Guess what his name is? Guess his full name.
Benjamin Heinz.
Very close. Henry J. Heinz.
They call him Beans for short. Right? Is that that's why he started Beans?
That's why he started Beans.
Okay,
'cause
we're
they
getting
called
somewhere.
him Beans.
Jimmy Beans.
Henry J. Heinz was one of those, as we've learned, very, very common instances of like a 5-year-old peddling goods in the town, similar to the IKEA guy. He had vegetables that he grew in his mom's garden. And he was like running around the neighborhood selling those for money. I don't know.
Probably for pennies.
For pennies. Yeah, he ended up getting into horseradish because at that time, horseradish was a condiment that it wasn't very common to make. It was very time consuming. And he was kind of marketing to housewives. So their time is very scarce. So he was kind of targeting them.
That seems like a really specific condiment to base your whole company on. I know I've recently learned that you don't like horseradish.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of horseradish. I find the type of spice, the type of heat to be quite offensive.
Not only are you not a fan of it, if I remember correctly, you said last week that if you're served something that has even touched horseradish, you just will remove that from the plate.
I'm repulsed. I can't stand it.
All right, go on. So he's selling horseradish, flying off the wagon.
So this guy, HJ, as we'll call him, he had a friend from a wealthy family, and they started selling their horseradish kind of like on a large scale. That was like their first big company, a big product. And then that company went bankrupt. Isn't that so interesting when a product, like the initial attempt by like this huge company, it like goes bankrupt, and then he just kind of like pivots and does something else? Isn't that always so like fascinating?
It is fascinating, but I'm going back to what I said just a moment ago. I'm not shocked that a horseradish company didn't succeed in 1869.
You know what I did follow though? So he started the horseradish company, Heinz Noble and Company, with this guy L. Clarence Noble. And then when that company went bankrupt, he just started a new company with his brother and cousin. And so I went crazy Googling L. Clarence Noble to like find out what became of him.
Nothing.
And there was nothing.
Wow.
History completely forgot L. Clarence Noble, even though he was like on the brink, the cusp of being part of this like incredibly successful franchise.
I could see Mr. Noble, after Heinz becomes successful, scrubbing his complete history because he's so upset that he wasn't part of it.
I would love to see a biopic about L. Clarence.
Would really?
I'd pay
You
anything.
would?
I'd pay
I
anything.
would love a 7-part series on not Henry Heinz, but
I mean,
on
if it was
the other
Netflix,
guy.
would it be 7? It would be 12.
12 episodes called Horseradish.
So the company's first product that he made with his brother and his cousin was, what do you think it was?
I want to say ketchup, but
Yes, it was
okay,
ketchup.
thank God, because
It
I'm
was
gonna.
ketchup.
I have to tell you, with Heinz, I feel like more than likely they have hundreds of products. I only know them for 2. I know them for ketchup, and now because of our dear friend Alistair, I know them because of their Blue Label Heinz
The
beans.
baked beans, yeah.
And that's really all I associate them with. But I am so enamored and love those 2 items so much. I'm completely loyal to Heinz for those.
Of course. They're 2 iconic products. So the company obviously did so well with their ketchup that it continued to grow. He bought out his 2 partners. He created the slogan 57 varieties, which actually doesn't mean 57 varieties. At that time, there were over 60 varieties, but he was on a train and he saw an advertisement going by for 21 varieties of shoes. And he liked the idea of like putting a number in like varieties. So he picked 57 because it was his and his wife's lucky numbers, allegedly 5 and 7.
That's cute.
Wait, you're a lucky number guy, right?
I am.
So what's your lucky number?
I have a few for different reasons. 5 is...
How can you have a few lucky numbers?
Everyone has just one? You have one
if
lucky
you
number?
have any, I think you have one.
Well, it depends because I use my lucky numbers in different ways. Because I'm also kind of, sometimes when I'm in the middle of it, like I realize that it feels a little Rain Man. But like one of my lucky numbers is 5 because there's 5 siblings in my family.
Okay.
One of them 7 because that includes my parents. And one of them is 14 because that's how old I was when I first fell in love.
Okay.
So sometimes I'll do things like, I'm gonna. God, this is gonna sound insane. Sometimes I'll do things like, in honor of the siblings today, I'll have 5 squirts of shampoo. So that's like a little shampoo for each of them. That sounds crazy, right?
The look on your face makes it seem like this is the first time you've uttered this out loud.
Because I've never shared this. It's not crazy though. It's just a way for me to think about my family while I'm bathing.
You're squirting one out for your homies.
Sometimes I'll feel bad. I didn't include Mom and Dad.
But 5 squirts of shampoo would be far too much.
If the squirts are small, so that they'll equal a normal amount, which is really small because a lot of times on shampoo it says use a dime amount. Try squirting a dime out in 7 squirts and thinking about your whole family. Anyway, so they make ketchup.
There's got to be, maybe call them or send a group text or something. Let them know you're...
I don't like to talk on the phone.
They don't know about the squirt.
I know. It's so much easier just to do 5 squirts and be like, aw, my siblings. There's Rob, Tom, Elizabeth, and Allison.
You know something funny that made the ketchup really popular is at this time, there was a big distrust of packaged food. A distrust of packaged food because
I could believe that. You know what that makes me think of? Back to the Future. Remember when they go back to the Old West and they're eating that rabbit they shot and there's like bullets in it? That's how I pictured food being back then.
That's kind of how food was because there was no FDA, which Heinz actually like kind of pioneered this kind of like food safety standards that became he coined the term, was it quality control?
Really?
Quality control was like coined by the Heinz Corporation because they had really high standards for food safety. And actually they made all their glass bottles clear because people, like other food companies, were doing their food in amber bottles because they could like hide like bugs and stuff.
Oh my
like
God.
bugs in there. And even like when they eventually did start making horseradish, people were putting like wood chips and stuff in horseradish. Like people were just messing around with food.
Putting wood chips in.
Yeah, like
just
horseradish companies were putting like horseradish. They were putting like wood
as
chips
filler?
in there. I think it's like filler. Just there wasn't like a standard. And so Heinz was saying like all of our food, it doesn't have wood, it doesn't have bugs. And people are like, okay.
I love that. And that's probably one of the reasons why I like Heinz, because I do feel like
You haven't found a bug?
I've never found a bug, and I feel like it is very consistent. Like it's always the same. But what I will say, and you know how I like to think about the dead founders of products.
Yeah.
What
Remember what you said about Disneyland?
I always wish that Walt Disney could see the things that have been created, like the new Star Wars ride. I think he would appreciate being able to
Yes,
see
but
it.
you said it in a way that was like not at all ironic, like with a tear in your eye, saying, I wish Walt could be here to see this.
I do. And your husband thought I was crazy. He's like, you're the only person that would ever think I wish Walt could see this. But I will say, I do wish that Henry Heinz could see now when you go to a restaurant and they have those red bottles because they don't want us to see the sloppy ketchup inside.
He would hate that.
Lose his mind,
He
just
would
like
lose his
I do.
mind.
I feel like it's a trick because I don't know what's in that bottle.
There's definitely a bug and wood in those bottles.
And it's funny that their roots go back to a time when they specifically did not do that for people like me.
He's rolling over in his grave. Oh, here's something you would love about him. He loved branding so much. One of their early products was pickles. It was like a popular, and you're a pickle guy too, so this is relevant to you.
My dad makes one of the only pickles I really love are the pickles my dad makes.
And the farmer's market pickles
Well, now
in
in
LA
the
for a
farmer's
local.
market, the expensive fancy pickles.
So Heinz had a booth at the World's Fair, and it was not a great placed booth. It was like off, probably like by the toilets or something. It was like he thought nobody was going to come to their booth, so he made these little enamel pins that looked like a little pickle and said Heinz, and was giving them away at the booth, and they like gave away thousands of them. It like drew so many people to their booth to get this little pickle pin. I thought, what a good idea.
Oh my God, I'm just picturing myself 100 years ago figuring out how I can get through that line like 4 times so that I can
get 4
have,
pickle
my main pen, my backup pen, and a couple to sell.
I mean, I would give anything for a Heinz pickle pin. I think it would just be like
Did
heaven.
you
Can you
search
imagine
eBay
it?
to see if those still exist?
Yeah, they're out there. I just don't know if they're authentically old. Like you can get 6 of them on eBay, which is, I don't know.
That's definitely not authentic if you can get a pack of 6.
And then, of course, as we know now, 2015, who owns Heinz but Kraft?
Of course they do.
Kraft announced its merger with Heinz, and they are the 5th largest food company in the world.
It doesn't surprise me. I somehow get these TikToks now that go through grocery store aisles and they color code, like they'll go down the cereal aisle and they're like, let's look at how many companies actually own all these cereals. And they color code them digitally. And by the time it's done, it's like everything's owned by basically 5 companies. Even like little, what appears to be mom and pop brands are still in the portfolio of Heinz and all these Vanguard and all these companies that just own everything.
Yeah, because a little company will get bought by the bigger one, and there you
So
go.
I gotta say, it's pretty cool, like IKEA, that, 100 and whatever, 40 years ago, we had this kid walking around selling turnips and horseradish, and now that company's one of the 5 biggest food companies on the planet.
You're right, it is pretty cool. It makes a good case for kicking your kid out the door when they're 5. Makes a good case. I tell you, I got a kid who's going to be 5 in a few months.
Let's get her out of here.
And I'm really got a lot to think about.
Let's get some turnips in a basket.
The new NBA and MLB season is in full swing, and BetOnline has you covered with the best odds and biggest promotions and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams. Head to BetOnline today to stay updated on all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here.
If you're looking to streamline your audio advertising buys and maximize your revenue, look no further than Triton Digital's programmatic audio advertising exchange, A2X. The private exchange consists of only licensed broadcasters and top-tier internet radio publishers, assuring the quality inventory and brand safety you can trust. Visit www.tritondigital.com to learn more.
Do you remember your first time you had Heinz ketchup?
I love that question, but of course not. Who remembers the first time they had ketchup? I'll never forget that first
The year
squeeze
was
on the plate.
1971.
True or false? I, in my cabinet of curiosities, have a collector's packet of Heinz ketchup.
True.
It is true.
What's a collector's packet of Heinz ketchup?
It came out in, I think, 2018. It was a Burger King exclusive. The packet is silver. It has a nose on it that's supposed to resemble Eleven's nose from Stranger Things. And when you rip it open, her nose bleeds with ketchup.
Wow.
And I went to Burger King just to get that.
Wow. I'm shocked.
You're speechless.
I'm speechless.
I thought it was a brilliant tie-in.
It is a good tie-in. I just thought your cabinet of curiosity was more for like your antique screwdriver collection or your like.
Okay, I'm going to be truthful here. I wasn't expecting pushback on the cabinet. It's not in the cabinet.
Okay,
it's in an adjacent box.
There we go.
That's part of my collection of curiosities.
Adjacent to the cabinet is not in the cabinet.
It's under the cabinet. I have a wooden box under the cabinet.
Longer than 5 years to make it in the cabinet. Let's just say.
There's brand new things that make it.
There are.
Yeah, like that book I bought this week from Johnstown Gloversville. That'll go in the cabinet.
That is cool, but that's old.
Yeah, but I've only had it for.
It doesn't matter how long you've had it.
Oh, no, but I think it does.
No, is that a vintage item?
I have.
What else is in your cabinet? Walk me through a shelf.
What else? My cabinet of curiosity is a metal cabinet I have at home. It's full of nostalgic things from my family. I have some weird things. I have the ground marker for my grandfather's gravestone.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know if, like, before you get a gravestone, they have, like, a metal thing in there with little metal letters in it of what it's going to say. I don't know if they do that everywhere, but they did it for his, and they were just going to throw it away, so I kept it. I have a feather pen. I have a bunch of signed Taylor Swift CDs. See, those are new, and those are in my cabinet of curiosity.
Those shouldn't be in there either.
I have my Days of Our Lives.
You're painting a fascinating portrait of yourself.
My autographed Days of Our Lives book that's signed by probably 50 cast members.
Which you can only get by going to the Day of Days fan convention.
I love that you actually know what it's called. Yeah, the Day of Days fan convention that's free every year. Do I have Deidre Hall? Yeah, I have them all. Marlena, all the good ones. I don't have Allison Sweeney, and I'm hoping to get her at some point.
She's not going there.
She's done with that. Yeah, she's way past that.
She's on Hallmark.
I have to run into her like on Runyon Canyon or something.
Yeah.
And
I'm assuming you carry your book with you everywhere you go in case of a Sweeney sighting.
Yeah, I need to just keep it in my car. I have a couple things that I should carry around that are like half autographed.
No one gets autographs. You're the only person who still gets autographs. Everyone gets selfies.
Which is...
You can't pass those down to your grandchildren.
No, I regret. It is truly one of my great regrets. I've worked in this business for a long time, and I've met a lot of people. And I used to never get autographs because I always wanted to see everybody's peers.
Oh,
like, no, I get it. I'm in the industry too. Like when I first moved to LA and I would go to Hollywood Boulevard, I wouldn't even look down at the stars because I didn't even want to appear to be curious.
Oh my God. You didn't want anybody to see you and think you were somebody who was captivated by Hollywood mystique.
No, like I was like, I live here, I work at, like this is just my town. I'm just going to the store. And I regret it now because I would have so many cool autographs. So now I do.
Have you looked at the ground yet in Hollywood?
I have looked at the ground.
Wow, that's huge.
It's huge. It was a big day when I finally looked
when your gaze turned downward to Martin Sheen,
Sally Field. But I have a couple of things now that are partially autographed. Like I have the Friends box set that I've gotten, Matthew Perry. And
where'd you meet Matthew Perry?
My friend worked on that show that he worked on afterwards called like fun. Sunset 60 or whatever.
Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
Yeah. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. They had that big clock that I wanted, like a big countdown
clock.
Because it was like a show about a show. I think I don't know if it was about it, and they had like a big countdown clock in his office that was always counting down to when they had to air the next show.
Yeah.
So it was like really stressful.
Your favorite part about the show was the big clock?
I really enjoyed it. I kind of wanted to get one.
I think you can buy a clock.
No, I know. I have one. I have not only a clock.
You have a big countdown clock? Like your late show is about to start in 18 hours?
In my Amazon cart.
Oh my God, John.
No, it's just, I won't pull the trigger on it because it's like...
How much?
$350.
Jeez.
But it's big. It's like the size of like a big television. I will say I have probably 900 things in my Amazon shopping cart.
I would love to dig into that.
Well, maybe we'll do that someday. I mean, because it goes all the way back. Anything I even kind of think about that I want goes in that at some point.
You know what my Amazon cart is? My wish list is?
What?
When I was like 20... It was really a cool thing to display DVDs.
Oh, yeah.
So I have in my Amazon cart like 30 DVDs that I like wanted to buy to have on a DVD rack in my apartment. So like I could bring friends over and impress them. Movies I've never seen. Like I Heart Huckabees. It was like when somebody comes over and they see I Heart Huckabees on my DVD rack.
They're going to die.
They're going to die.
When
They're going to fall in love
instantly. That's like the modern day version of people that buy like books that they don't read.
Oh, that they don't read. I know. But what's
The
crazy
Art
is
of Sex. Yeah, I have it.
those DVDs still cost like $29. These like Blu-rays. It's like, who's doing this? This is insane.
I remember seeing that Best Buy had the complete Sex in the City on sale for $149 and flew over there because I couldn't believe I could get that show for that cheap. And it came in like in a pink velvet box. And
I was
like,
gonna say, it must be like
own this
themed.
whole thing now for a mere $149.
You're like, I'll be able to watch Sex in the City whenever I want for the low price of $150.
I still have it. Also,
that'd be a great autograph to have, Sarah Jessica Parker. That'd be huge.
If only there would have been a moment in our lives where we could have gotten her autograph.
Our friend saw her on a plane and refused to take a picture of her.
Sat 3 feet away from her and
Unreal.
wouldn't even take a picture of her, even though you can do that without anyone noticing. But
Yeah.
that's not what this episode's
No,
about.
that's not
I
what this is
also
about.
have...
It's what most other things are about, but not this.
That's not what this is about. Why am I blanking on her name now? The blonde on Friends. Why am I blanking on her name?
Phoebe?
Yeah, but what's her real name? Lisa Kudrow.
Lisa Kudrow.
Lisa Kudrow also signed my
Your friend's box.
box.
Where did you see her?
Again, I didn't meet her. My friend was working
wow.
on Who Do You Think You Are, which she was a producer on.
Yeah. Wow, that's fun.
And here's my fun story with that. Okay. So did you ever watch her series that was based on a character that she did at the Groundlings?
Oh, yeah. She played like a wild lady.
Yeah. So there was
Yeah.
only 2 seasons of it, and they were like 10 years apart or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a fun show. The final episode of that show, the final like 20 minutes of it, I think is
The comeback.
The comeback is some of the best television I've ever seen. Like I've watched that 20 minutes probably. I'm seriously getting tears about it. It's so good. And so when my friend you have to watch all of it to really get it.
Oh my God, you're weeping.
She's so good in it. And when I found out I convinced my friend to like take this box and get this signed. I wrote Lisa a card. I wrote a little card and I was like, listen, I don't want you to think I'm like a weird fan, but the last 20 minutes of the comeback I think is some of the finest television I've ever seen. And I like put it in the box so that when she signed it, blah, 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 like I'm sure I was like, that's so sweet. So then my friend gets it signed and brings it back to me. I'm so excited. And I opened the box and the card was still in there sealed. And I was like, I felt so stupid. I don't know why I felt dumb, but I was like, oh God, of course it's still in there. Like, why would she open it? But I was super sad.
Why would she open it? Well, your friend should just handed it to her.
My friend, I know. I don't even remember if I told my friend it was in there because I was probably too embarrassed. Yeah.
So Heinz is one of those products you claim to be so brand loyal for that you think you can spot Heinz in a restaurant, right? You've claimed this before?
I put Heinz in the same category that I put Diet Coke. In many ways. Like it's another thing I hate if I go to a restaurant, they're like, oh, we have a handcrafted Chipotle ketchup. No, I just want Heinz. I am confident that I can pick Heinz out of a lineup.
Well, then I have a surprise for you today. For me, the most common alternative to Heinz in a restaurant is Hunt's.
Oh, Hunt's.
So I prepared a taste test where you will put your brand loyalty to the challenge. Can you detect Heinz in this ketchup bite-off?
I don't think it'll take more than 30 seconds.
All right, well, we'll see. Here is your ketchup lineup. They are numbered with a 1 and a 2. 1 is Heinz, 1 is Hunt's. Can you spot the difference?
All right, visually looking at it, oh man, maybe it's harder. It's kind of dark in here.
Okay, he's losing confidence. He's getting a little shaky. Our testing vehicle is a tater tot. I think the
I'm just eating raw ketchup.
Perfect medium for ketchup.
Oh boy, I thought this was going to be easier. Now they're listening to me chew.
Okay, you thought it would be easier, so maybe they taste more similar than you thought.
I think it's 2.
You think 2 is Heinz?
I can't tell. Oh God. Now I've mixed the flavors in my mouth. I've created like a new ketchup. It's like Heinz.
Okay, you got to give us a guess. What is it? 1 or 2? Which one is Heinz? Which one is Hunt's?
I've never felt like anything is more important than what I say next.
Nothing is more important.
I can't fail this.
What matters more?
I feel like no matter what I say, I'm going to be wrong.
Well, throw out a number. I'll let you know how wrong you are.
I can't be a Hunt's boy. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say 2. Even though I feel like you got mad, like we're weird when I said 2 before. Now I'm just shoving tater tots down.
John?
No, is it wrong?
You are a Hunt's boy.
Oh, no. But here's the thing. This just doesn't seem right.
In what way?
It's low lighting. It's cold tots.
You also previously when we go to restaurants,
nervous.
When we go
this
to
is the only
restaurants,
third pod we've recorded. I feel like everything's on the line. This isn't me. Do it tomorrow at lunch.
You want me to give you another ketchup taste test tomorrow at lunch?
No, I'll be at the grocery store buying a bottle of Hunt. I'm a Hunt's boy. Always have been. I just never knew.
So you're saying you're going to get a Hunt's charm for your charm bracelet?
Oh, God. I'm so, I feel like I'm not going to sleep well tonight because I'm so sad.
Knowing you, I know that you won't.
Wow. Well, thanks for putting me to the test. I don't know what to say. I'm without words right now.
Yeah, take a minute to recover. Oh, this was a thing too. I almost refrigerated the ketchup for the taste test because I know you have this thing about warm ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought room temperature is how I'm sure it was intended. This is how it was designed and tested to be tasted.
I can do room temperature. I'm just saying, if I go to a fast food place and get something that comes with ketchup, like a hamburger or something, I get it plain, I take it home, and I make a pool of cold ketchup, and I dip it.
I don't know anybody else who prefers ketchup cold. It feels very past life. It feels like there's more to it than that.
I mean, I've had a complicated
You did have a very traumatic past life.
Many journeys through this life.
Is this the first time we've talked about this?
I honestly don't remember anymore.
Back.
I feel like we've talked about
I talk about the past life once a week.
If you don't know, just in a nutshell, I was a 13-year-old girl that was held prisoner in a basement and raped repeatedly by 3 men until I died. And Mar was
I was a hog farmer, and I was carrying a sickle, marching through a field, about to stab a pig.
And that's why she's a vegetarian now, and it's why I'm attracted to dominant men. I mean, it all makes sense.
It all makes sense. It's it's easy, clear as day.
Clear as day to us.
Take my $150, you witch, and
take everything. Thank you.
Tell me everything I need to know.
That's why I don't like anything that's I don't like a wine because I have the taste buds of a 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm. But what does that have to do with cold ketchup? Ooh, the cellar was cold.
Okay.
Oh my God.
That's why I have 500 pillows and blankets on my bed, because I never knew the comfort of a bed. My bed is the epitome of luxury and decadence, and it's on the world's oldest mattress that has a spring sticking out of it that cuts my leg.
Wait, is it? What you should have taken my old bed.
It was too big.
Did you ever eat any of the cranch or the?
No.
Do you know does cranch mean anything to you? If I say cranch,
no, but I assume that it's
mayo chop. Cranch. This was a thing Heinz did
I would love
back.
it if you stopped saying cranch.
So cranch, it's what is it? What's the cranch?
I don't know what the I know what the ranch is.
Oh, it's just ketchup and ranch.
Oh, okay.
These are okay, and this is funny. Okay, so buffer ranch, honey racha, cranch, mayo chop, mayo must.
And these are too many
why
words.
didn't they go with mayo tard? I mean,
I think there's a reason they didn't go with that.
All the rest of them are it's the last part of the word. Mayo racha, mayo chop.
Right.
Why mayo must? It should be mayo tard.
I feel like it naturally,
should be mayo tard.
Sometimes you have to make executive decisions and tweak
Buffer
things.
ranch, honey racha. Not honey sir, honey sri.
I'm not going to, I got to be honest, I don't know one thing you've said for the last 2 minutes. I feel like you're just speaking a different language. I feel like I'm on a game show, or we did a weird Mad Libs. I don't know what you're saying.
It's mayo mustard.
Oh, why wouldn't it just be?
It's mayo must instead
it's
of
mayonnaise and mustard.
Yes.
Why wouldn't it just be mayo tart?
I'm just saying, if you're going to use the same device for all of them, they just.
I guess that is better than mustaze. Yeah, there's not a lot of good.
There's not a lot of great ways to do it. So where is Heinz now? Well, if you ask the people on the Heinz Facebook page, of which over 1 million are friends.
Wow.
A lot of people are complaining that they don't like the new flavor. They feel like it tastes different. The social media has stopped being updated. January 26th, they had a Super Bowl post. Was their last post. And on the Twitter, last post was in December. It just feels like they're maybe in a transition period.
I gotta say, for the last little bit, I've kind of been, in my head, that I picked Hunt's. And now hearing that a million other people are saying that it doesn't taste quite right, I'm feeling a little bit better about that.
You're feeling a little vindicated, maybe.
I'm feeling a little vindicated because, yeah, I agree with you, million people. Let's figure out why it tastes different.
This might be a good time, actually, for Heinz. Okay, so Heinz, maybe they're in a little bit of a crisis. Actually, you know how I have a big problem with brands who try to sound, I don't know, like they're catering to like Gen Z in their marketing.
Yeah.
Is like a huge issue for me.
Yeah, especially like a 140-year-old
140-year-old brand, talking like Gen Z.
Yeah.
Yes. They feel a little lost.
Well, I'm sure in your vast research you came across the fact that apparently Ed Sheeran is like the number one Heinz fan in the world.
Well, I mean, up before today, I would have said it was you, but after you being a Hunt's boy.
Well, I would think it was me too, but I don't know if you've seen, he actually has a tattoo of it on his body. He apparently, I think it's in his writer. He takes it to restaurants. He asks for it constantly. And he made, I think, an Instagram post reaching out to Heinz, suggesting an idea for a commercial that they do with him, which, of course, Heinz did. So now this commercial exists, and it's, you know, just a funny, like, Ed Sheeran at a restaurant, and they're trying to give him all this snooty food, but he doesn't want it unless it's got Heinz on it. So then they take it one step farther, and they made 150 very special bottles of Heinz ketchup with a wraparound label on it that has Ed Sheeran's tattoo as the Heinz label. Those were auctioned off. They think it was a world record. 3 of the bottles sold for like $1,500. They gave them to like super Heinz fans. I don't know why I didn't get one. They gave them to Ed Sheeran
seem like
fans.
You'd be on the email list for a super Heinz fan.
So I don't have a problem with that. I feel like that's kind of fun.
I do like that because I feel like that's coming from an authentic place of his love of the company. I just feel like the brand itself, how they're marketing themselves to consumers, maybe they're going to lose some loyalty.
Do you have any fun trivia?
Do you? Because you're not allowed to research the brand that I am.
I can't say I didn't research a little bit. I had a little bit of fun trivia. The one that most people know is how do you get the ketchup out of the bottle? 45-degree
angle, tap on the 57. We all know that, John.
Well, apparently not, because on the website it says only 11% of the population knows that. So I thought it'd be fun to share it with the rest of them who I'm sure are all listening.
If you're a brand freak, you know that. Okay, come on. Our audience is probably more like 90% know how to get the ketchup out of a Heinz glass bottle.
Well, okay. Well, if they
didn't, brand freaks.
Now they do. I think Alistair, our producer, will find this one very interesting. So I don't think we mentioned this, but Alistair makes us a traditional English dish of eggs and beans on toast. Well, those blue cans of Heinz beans, guess how many cans of those they sell in the UK every single day? Guess.
I mean, any guessing that's like a number, it just feels so arbitrary. A million, 10,000.
No. Which is it? 1 million or 10,000?
$1 million.
No, 1.5 million.
Well, that is a lot. Okay.
That's a lot, right?
A lot.
I agree. A lot of times numbers aren't impressive. 1.5 million cans of beans a day.
That's a lot.
Now, they went a little farther with that information, and I found that a little odd. If knowing that information...
How many farts every day?
No. How many Boeing 747s would it take to fly that number of people every day? It's kind of a weird question. How many jets? So you've got all these people. Okay. They've all bought their beans. Like 1.5 million people. How many jets would they now need to get all those people somewhere?
So 1 can of beans represents 1 person?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 person per can of beans.
It's 5,000 jets.
5,000 jets. So I'm imagining now a can of beans strapped in each seat with a seatbelt on.
If you want. I'm imagining a cornucopia of human beings all smiling with their can of beans.
Okay,
anyway, I thought that was interesting.
That is very interesting. That's way more than I thought. And for anybody listening, eggs and beans on toast with a can of baked beans is a fantastic meal. I would recommend it to anybody.
Well, I also would recommend it to everybody. I eat it deconstructed. I like my toast by itself. I like my beans by itself. And I like my eggs by itself. But other than that, eggs and beans on toast is great. I like eggs and beans near toast.
Well, it's been so fun teaching you about Heinz. Have you enjoyed learning a little more about the red sauce we squeeze on a hot dog?
thanks so much for bringing Heinz to the table. It's not a brand that I would have thought would be so enjoyable to learn about.
I could talk about ketchup all day, so this has been an absolute delight. John, what brand are we discussing next week? Oh, wait, let me guess.
Okay, do you want to guess just blindly?
Yeah.
Okay. Knowing me.
Jergens.
Jergens. The lotion?
Yeah, Jergens.
No, it's not Jergens. You have one more guess. I'll give you a clue. 2 words.
Okay. Roundup.
Roundup, like the deadly poison that people put in the yard?
Yeah.
No, it's Fisher Price.
Oh, that'll be great.
Isn't that a lot more fun?
That's so much more
and
fun.
makes more sense. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We appreciate you listening.
And if you like the show, subscribe, rate, and review. Tell all of your friends. Call all your grandmothers. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
It's on, Brain.